Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? It's Gary with Fan TV, man. Back at you on the video. The content of this video, go smash that like button at the content of this channel. Go subscribe, man. Look, so John Harbaugh talked about Derrick Henry and his uses in the Ravens, first game of the season, right? The loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, right? So one, of course, that came out from John Harbaugh, right? Kind of got people up in arms, right? So it was said that we didn't bring Derrick Henry here to be the guy that gets the ball 30 times a game. Okay. And some people had a lot of issues with this quote, right? Kind of wanted to talk about it, the Ravens game plan, stuff like that, right? So first off, I want to say John Harbaugh is right. Okay. Derrick Henry is 30 years old. He's been a workhorse back his entire career. That is correct, but that really wasn't why he was brought here, right? A lot of people wanted to see that, they was going against Kansas City. Davis ran the ball, 6 times in the game, HC Championship game, right? Oh, we're going to give the ball to Derrick Henry 25 times. We're going to beat Kansas City, right? It didn't go down like that, right? So people got upset with his quotes, right? You know how John Harbaugh in the press conference can be, okay? But this is my thing, right? It kind of goes into a really of a deeper issue about the Ravens and not really understanding what they need on offense or how they can structure an offense to get the best of what they have, okay? For the Ravens, if you're going to acquire Derrick Henry, you need to play more on the center, right? Lamar Jackson is in the shotgun a lot. It said that Lamar Jackson likes to be in the shotgun. I think Lamar Jackson can be comfortable in any offense that he's put in, right? So for me, I don't want to use that as a crutch, right? Oh, he likes to be in the shotgun. I don't think that's all the way the truth, right? Derrick Henry is most effective. I mean, let's think about the Tennessee teams, right? Understand that Derrick Henry getting full steam ahead and also play action off of that, right? Hitting A.J. Brown and these guys on Carson Russ coming back across the field, right? These are kind of things that the Ravens need to implement into their offense, right? So at the end of the day, is Derrick Henry brought here to run 30 times a game or get the ball 30 times a game? No, he's not. That's not why he's here. But the Ravens cannot be is predictable when he's on the field, right? Okay, you line up in pistol. Derrick Henry might be is probably going to get the ball here, right? You line up in shotgun. Derrick Henry right next to you. Derrick Henry is not a great shotgun running back. Guess what? It's a passing play, right? Or Derrick Henry's not on the field. Guess what? It's a passing play. The Ravens cannot be that kind of predictable. So the Ravens had to tweak their offense to really get the best out of Derrick Henry, right? Now, for me, this kind of goes back to the big issue I was talking about, right? When the Ravens signed Derrick Henry, I was one of the people that were like, listen, I get it. Derrick Henry's the big name. We know Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry he's ruined the Ravens in the playoffs, right? But is he really the kind of remember that the Ravens need right now? It's only week 1, right? So the Ravens will figure it out, hopefully, okay? But I was the kind of guy that was saying that the Ravens need to get a true 3-down running back, whether that was just Saquon, your Josh Jacobs, hell, even the guy like DeAndre Swift, right? Over Derrick Henry, right? The name of Derrick Henry was such an allure to fans and media. Wow, look at Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in the same backfield, okay? Which is a great thing to have, right? If the Ravens use him properly, right? The kind of offense that the Ravens run, the kind of offense that Henry has been successful in, haven't always meshed together, okay? We got to be honest about that, all right? So it will take a shift, okay? And for me, that shift needs to happen with an under center offense, right? Lamar Jackson does just fine under center, right? The Ravens last year, I believe statistically, were one of the best play action offenses in the NFL, okay? That is something that they don't lean into enough, all right? The Ravens get down by a little bit, the whole game plan goes out the window, right? And that brings me to the next point, right? Derrick Henry not being a true 3-down running back, okay? He's going to get phased out of games if the Ravens are losing. That's just the fact of the matter, okay? If the Ravens have a script like they had against Kansas City, right? You're down 10, going fourth quarter, you got to put up points. Guess who's going to be in the game? Justice Hill, and then when he comes back, Keaton Mitchell. That's who's going to be in the game, not Derrick Henry. So the Ravens got Derrick Henry, paid him $8 million a year over the next 2 seasons, a guy that is extremely game script dependent, right? There is no room for Derrick Henry in the offense if the Ravens are losing and they need to go get points. There's no room for him in that offense, right? That's just the fact that's just the truth of the situation, okay? And the Ravens knew that when they signed him on, which is why I was hesitant about doing that in the first place, right? Because if you're going to pay $16 million, I want a running back that's going to be on the field or has the capability to strike fear in the defense every play. Right, so when there was these training camp videos coming out early on in the offseason and Derrick Henry was catching the football, right, that made me happy because it's like, will Derrick Henry be able to be a part of this passing game? Because if he's not, that limits what the Ravens can do with him, and that limits how they can devise their offense, right? That's just the fact of the matter, okay? So John Harbaugh routinely puts his foot in his mouth when it comes to press conferences, right? The way he delivers pressers is not the greatest. It is what it is when it comes to that. But to me, he didn't say anything wrong this time, right? It's not about the fact that you're not going to give Derrick Henry the ball 30 times a game, because unless the Ravens are winning the game, he's not going to get the ball that much. We just got to be honest about that, right? The issue is the fact of the Ravens don't know how to use the personnel that they have, okay? When you brought Derrick Henry in here, the idea and the concept cannot be, that we're going to be a shotgun and pistol heavy only offense, right? You can't do that. Derrick Henry likes to be in the eye, right? The idea was you have Derrick Henry in the eye, Patrick Ricard in front of him some plays, and now you can be running the football downhill, okay? We really didn't see that very much versus Kansas City, if at all, okay? And I brought this up in the game recap. Derrick Henry is a power back, or gets labeled as such, right? But if you meet Derrick Henry in the backfield, you have a decent chance of stopping him. He's a running back that needs, give him that first 3 to 5 yards untouched. Now you got a freight train rolling downhill, okay? The Ravens are not going to get that kind of push running out of shotgun, running out of pistol all the time, all right? Now, pistol might be a little bit better because you get the threat of Lamar Jackson pulling in on the zone keep, which is always great, right? But at the end of the day, the Ravens had to commit to change their offensive philosophy to get the most out of this offense in general and Derrick Henry, right? If you're going to spend $8 million, close to $10 million on a running back, he needs to be a part of the offense, that can't be phased out because of the way the game is going. So the Ravens are going to do this. They have to change up how they operate, and that's just simple as that. Okay, so for me, even before Derrick Henry came here, right, when the Ravens were still looking for an offensive coordinator, and a couple of years ago, before Tom Lincoln got the job, I wanted the Ravens to run I guess everybody wants their team to run a Shanahan type of scheme, right? But really, it was the fact that Lamar Jackson is a great athlete, and you get Lamar Jackson on play action, bootlegs, get him on the edge of the defense. Now, with his great arm talent, he's on the edge with a threat to run and pass, okay? Not so much stationary movement in the pocket where he has to create so much on his own, right? If you look at the Ravens offense and the concepts that they've run, how many easy completions does Lamar Jackson get per game? Not a lot, okay? But when I watch the Lions, when I watch the 49ers, now they have great talent on offense, not dismissing that. Jared Goff and Brock Purdy get easy completions, right? Because the run game under center gives you so many more options, right? And it makes the defense respect a lot more than just just a regular shotgun offense, okay? For me, the Ravens need to change their philosophy and their style of play if they're going to get the most out of Derrick Henry. Now, you could be mad at John Harbaugh saying we didn't bring him here to get the ball 30 times a game, and I don't know why, because if we have Lamar Jackson, why would Derrick Henry be getting the ball 30 times a game, right? And you got Keith Mitchell coming back. You got Justice Hill here. That just wasn't a realistic possibility of that happening anyway. But for the Ravens to really get the most out of what they have for this offense, they got to commit to a change, all right? They got to be committed to, especially if you're going to be a true tight end looks, right? That kind of stuff thrives under center. So if the Ravens are going to do this and do this effectively, they got to embrace a new way of offense, all right? Because the offense that we saw on Thursday, like I said, I commend Lamar Jackson for that performance, right? And I don't think he's going to play like that 17 games, right? Throwing his body around, trying to hit stick or cornerbacks. I think he really wanted to beat Kansas City, right? I think any other team, he goes out of bounds on those plays. He gets down sooner or whatever, right? So I'm not really worried about Lamar to take too many hits. But the point being is that the Ravens put so much pressure on him to be Superman in that game that it led to him taking unnecessary hits, right? And he put some of that pressure on himself, of course, but that the Ravens game plan, hey, Lamar, make something happen. We can't be in year 7 and that's still it, right? Draw stuff under center, keep the defense off balance, right? Whether Derrick Henry's in the game or not, the defense cannot know that this means run or pass, right? The Ravens cannot be predictable in that manner, right? So the idea of Derrick Henry getting the ball 30 times a game or not really shouldn't offend anybody. It's about, can the Ravens update and change their offense in a way that gets the best out of Lamar Jackson, it gets the best out of this running game, so that when they play good teams, they can keep them off balance and actually move the ball forward without Lamar Jackson have to put on his cape. And that's my thoughts on it, man. So give me your thoughts on the comments, man. You know, I'll part of our comments, man. Y'all have a great day. It's Gabriel, on Fan TV. I'm out.